Been quite a while since my last update, and I think I mentioned at that time that I'd be working on combat, and that is mostly what I've been doing. Here's a update. The first thing that you may see here is that I've got a little game launch screen. That's wonderful. Now that wasn't really necessary to do at this stage in development, but what it really was me developing the UI components like buttons with images that I knew I'd be needing here coming up. So get that out of the way. There's been a few cosmetic changes here in the way I display the characters on the mini-map. I think they're a little bit easier to see now. Also, monsters are slightly more visible as monsters, I think. But really what most of the work has gone into is back-end stats on player characters, mechanics on how items and weapons go into player characters, and how monsters work, and a lot of that stuff is kind of hard to demonstrate. I do have basics of combat down though, so here we'll have an encounter with this brown ooze I made. There's a couple of things that are working in combat and a bunch that are not. For now, players can pass, move, and attack. And forgive me for the less than interesting character names. For instance, if I want to move this character, you can see he pops around here, and that's all wonderful. Unlike when you are out of combat, each character is controlled individually in combat. Of course, if you remember from previous updates, they try to walk in formation when you're walking around in the dungeon, but in combat, the control you have focuses in on each character. You can also see, as I'm sort of passing around here, that who is active is highlighted. That's all wonderful. You can actually kill a monster, so I'll show that next. Monsters AI, I do not have implemented yet though. So we have a little attack here. He makes a roll and a hit, and I have that text waiting slightly for you to read it, but probably not long enough. I'll just move all the characters up here so we can surround this monster and kill it a little faster, hopefully. And the poor thing doesn't get to do anything on his turn yet. One of the things, if you're quick, you may notice in the combat results down there is that weapons have different types of damage. Each of these test characters has equipped the only weapon I have implemented yet. This is a dagger, and it does pierce damage. So they're all doing pierce damage. And as you might expect, different monsters have different resistances or vulnerabilities to different damage types, and that will all play into the kinds of items that you have. And there, the monster's dead, combat's over, and that's the end of the demo.